Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Female Friday. Where this week we're going over to Azra to interview one of their amazing block babes, the first female Bruce Scott lecturer for RAUK, Professor Sandy Kopp. How are you doing this morning, Sandy?
Oh, I'm good. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. Friday starts the weekend. Yay!
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
so, Sandy, we're going to start with a really easy question.
I love
What's
it.
your name? Where do you come from originally? And where are you currently working?
Excellent. So, my name is Sandy Kopp, and I was born in Wisconsin, and grew up part of my life there, and then spent the rest of it in Minnesota. I've lived in the Midwest of the United States, for my entire life. Um, Sometimes I wonder why, especially when it's cold and windy like it is this week.
Yeah.
I work at the Mayo Clinic. I'm home based in Rochester, Minnesota, which is the where the main Mayo Clinic is, but I spend the majority of my time working throughout our health system, which is 16 sites in Wisconsin and Minnesota that also provide anesthesia services. So I've had the really unique privilege of working in everything from sites with, two operating rooms and one anesthesiologist to working at Mayo Clinic with resources galore and so it's really it's been quite enlightening and quite eye-opening to try to figure out how to do similar things with different resources.
Yeah, it sounds really busy. So, what
Yeah.
attracted you to regional anesthesia?
Uh, at the time, so when I, way back when I did my fellowship, there really wasn't a fellowship in regional anesthesia at Mayo Clinic. But Terry Horlocker was doing a lot of blocks. Dr. Jim Hebel was working with her, and I really liked the group of people who worked in that area. I liked doing things with my hands, and at the time, it just seemed like something that was really going to be up and coming. And so I jumped on board and was essentially the first true regional fellow at Mayo Clinic in way back in 2003. So
Wow, it seems like you're trailblazing. You're a lot of firsts,
I
Sandy.
think
You're
so.
like collecting it, the lady of firsts.
There you go.
Um,
I've never thought about it before,
Yeah,
but
that's you're now your name. You are the
yeah,
lady of
okay.
firsts. So what do you think you might be doing if you went an anesthetist? What would you like to do in your life?
I would be a National Geographic photographer.
Wow, you're the second photographer we've had because
Really?
yeah, Sarah said she wanted to be a
Okay.
photographer too. So
Yeah.
maybe there's something about,
Yeah.
regionalists wanting to take photos.
I don't know. Yeah, I would be a National Geographic photographer. You could send me off anywhere and I'd sit for days watching animals do their thing. It's to me I find it so incredibly relaxing and enjoyable. So
Perfect. What's the favorite part of your job?
ah um that's changed over time, I think. It used to be taking care of patients, and of course, that is still a huge part. I still very much enjoy that and would never give up that part. But my job has changed to become more administrative, and now I think one of the favorite parts is really trying to help integrate the health system and kind of bring new things to them, how to tweak your best practice that works in Rochester to work in these smaller sites. um, I think that's been a lot of fun. So a combination between that and taking care of patients, which of course is why we all got into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as an eminent regional anesthesiologist, I'm guessing you have a favorite block. If you don't, you can tell me your favorite dinosaur.
Okay, I don't know very much about dinosaurs, but I do have a favorite block. My favorite block is the axillary block. I think the axillary block is a very underappreciated. I think it's a block that anybody should be able to do. I mean, if you think about it, when I learned how to do the axillary block, it was you had one of two options. You either poke the needle into the nerve, gently, of course, or you poke the needle through the artery. And so now with ultrasound, hopefully you can avoid that. But if you can't, you know that it's safe to do. So I love that as a block with learners. I think too, if you put local truly around that artery and you get good spread and you use a big enough volume, that block always works. It's
Yeah.
just it's so reliable to me.
And we've come a long way, haven't we, from poking arteries and nerves. I hear stories and I can't ever imagine it in
Oh
the
yeah.
days of regional ultrasound. And also, I agree with you, it's a really good block to learn on because
Uh-huh.
there's not a lot that can really go wrong. It's just
No.
as,
No, there really isn't. And I work with a lot of learners, and so it just I get very nervous if I haven't worked. I feel like I'm able to teach them more and allow them to do more by letting them do an axillary block, whereas I'm never going to let them do a supraclavicular for the before I've seen them, you know, keep a needle in view or anything like that. So
yeah.
I think I don't know. I just think it's a great. It's my favorite block for sure. Always has been. Even before ultrasound, it was my favorite block because there was something so delicate and precise about it. To try to get that paresthesia, um, and to know which nerve it was that you were touching. It was I don't know. To me, it was they talk about the art of medicine, and to me it was kind of an art. I Ultrasound in some ways it's taken that kind of delicate touch and the need to know surface anatomy kind of away. So I'm thankful that I learned both. I think that really creates a unique set of skills to kind of have the surface anatomy, to have that kind of appreciation of what it was before the ultrasound. I mean, I would never give up my ultrasound now. I mean, of course, I love it. I think it makes everything so much more straightforward. But I do feel really lucky to have trained in both.
Yeah, agreed. Team Auxiliary is actually quite sexy. So we're gonna go on now to have your 1 minute block break where I'm gonna ask you questions completely unrelated to
Okay,
anesthesia. I have my timer. Are you ready, Sandy?
I'm ready.
Okay. You can only eat one food again for the rest of your life. What do you think it would be?
Bacon.
Okay, and if you could travel anywhere in the world, cost, time aside, where would you go?
Kenya.
What's your spirit animal? Don't say a
uh,
sloth.
honey badger.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The book or the movie of the book?
The book.
Are you a spring, summer, autumn, or winter person?
Autumn.
Are you a couch potato or a gym bunny?
Depends on the day.
That's fair
I
enough. And what's the most used emoji on your phone?
Probably the laughing emoji.
Yeah. Do
Yeah, I
you
love to
have a
laugh.
guilty pleasure?
Um,
Bacon.
Probably an old fashioned at night.
Okay. And finally, we'll give you one more.
Okay.
What's your desert island item?
Oh. Can I say a hot guy? No.
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay.
Do you know, you say that, but I asked someone the other day who their plus one at a party would be, and they said, damn it, do I have to say my husband? And I was like, female Friday, causing marital problems everywhere. I loved it. So we're going to move on now to back to the more serious questions. Tell us about how your career path has evolved. How did you get from the beginning to like some superstar block babe of Azra?
Um, honestly, if so, I finished my residency, going on 20, it'll be 20 years next summer. Um, And if you would have asked me 20 years ago where I thought my career would be, it wouldn't be here. That's for sure. But now that I'm here, I can't really imagine doing anything different. And I often tell our young residents, you know, if a door opens and it seems like something that might be good, consider walking through it, even if it's not the plan that you had originally set out to do, because you never know what opportunities are gonna open up. I've had tons of opportunities open up for me, and I've walked through that door and I've ended up here. I never thought I would be, working in the health system. I mean, it wasn't even something I knew even anything about years ago, and now I can't imagine not being in the health system. Um, so um, I've been really fortunate, I think, to have a lot of opportunities, but I think, they don't come for free either. It takes when you say yes, you have to put in the work to get the job done. You have to open yourself up, you have to work super hard, all of those things. So yeah.
What do you think's been your biggest career achievement?
Oh boy. Um,
The Bruce Scott lecture has got to be up there, right?
It is definitely, that I will tell you that that is a huge honor for me. It's a huge honor, and it's not lost on me, the importance of that and the importance of being the first female Bruce Scott lecturer.
I was
Um,
so pleased. I was so pleased.
so it is definitely up there. I think, probably too, if I think about kind of my regional world. I was just moved onto the officer track of ASRA. So in, let's see, 2, 4, 6, in 6 years, um, I'll end up, or no, it'll be like 5 years, I think. I'll end up being the president of ASRA, and that's a huge honor for me as well.
Wow, will you be the first female president of ASRA?
No, there's been
Oh
um
my
there's
word.
been three three others, but only three others. I mean, come on,
Really?
yeah, that three others, and we're celebrating our 50th anniversary of the kind of the new ASRA. There was the original ASRA with Gaston Labat. That's celebrating its 100 year. But in 50 years, there's only been three ASRA presidents that were female. That's not
It's
enough.
not good, is it? We've got our
No.
second president of Ezra coming up in Eleni,
Yes.
and we're yet to have a female president of RAUK after
Yes.
40 years. So I think the time is
The
coming.
time. I think so
The
too.
time is coming. We'll see what we can do. What do you think your biggest career failure has been?
Oh boy. Um, Boy, that's a tough one. Um, I don't know. I don't know that I've had necessarily a career failure. I think if I look back, now, I think maybe my failure was not in my career, but maybe in not putting in choosing to put my career first at times when maybe I shouldn't have. Um, my kids are now 8. My daughter's going to be 18 on Tuesday, and my son is 20. Um, and they're fantastic, and it was really interesting. I took my daughter to a conference. It's the Grit conference. It's
Hmm.
growth, resilience. What is it? Inspiration, tenacity. It's put on by a good friend of mine, Susie Moschler, who also does regional and chronic pain. And I took my daughter, and it's for women in medicine, and it's a really fantastic conference. You should actually think about coming sometime, because I think you'd really enjoy it.
I think we need to get her on Female Friday, don't we? If
Yeah,
she's a
maybe. Oh
regionalist and
yeah,
into women,
yes, actually you should. And
I
I'll
should.
get you her name.
Yeah.
And I'll put in a plug. But I took my daughter to this meeting, and actually it was really great for her to see all of these females. She wants to go into medicine, going to be starting college next year, and I was amazed at the impact of that it had, bringing her to this meeting. And I think too, when I say a failure of maybe putting my career first, I think I never put my career above my kids, but I think sometimes we apologize for what we do in our career. And I think maybe instead of that, we should actually be telling our kids how we're working hard, but why we're working hard, right? I think maybe we should be proud of the fact that at times we work hard and at times we choose our job, and we shouldn't always choose our job, of course, and we should always put our family first, but I think there's nothing wrong with being proud of how hard you work and what you've accomplished.
Yeah, it's a very difficult balance for
It is.
mums. And I've certainly doing Female Friday, it's come up recurrently that it's really difficult to have a star-studded career and be a stay-at-home mum.
Yeah.
We can't have it all.
No, we can't.
We can't. What do you think the biggest and the all the best piece of career advice you've ever been given is, or indeed advice in your personal life?
Um, I think probably the best piece of advice I ever got was that to to make sure that if you say yes to something, to put your all into it, but to not say yes to something you don't want to do, because that's going to be the most miserable thing you've
Yeah.
ever had to accomplish. So be selective, um, but if you say yes, you should finish it and you should do it well.
Completely agree. There's nothing more off-putting than having that flaky person in the team that
Exactly.
you're trying to get on with something and you're like, you said yes. Come on.
Right.
But
Exactly.
say it with meaning.
Right.
Have you had any strong female mentors in your career?
Yeah, for sure. Terry Horlocker is come just pops right to the top. She was really the one that got me interested in regional anesthesia. Denise Waddell, another very strong female mentor. Kaiser Enneking. These are all regional people in the United States, all amazing, amazing, strong women. Yeah, they definitely have really impacted my career.
And what advice might you give women coming up behind you?
Again, I think it's the piece about, when a door opens, consider walking through it. You don't know what it's going to bring, be open to trying something new. Be open to taking a risk. It might turn out to be the best thing you've ever done. And and if you take a risk and it turns out to not be what you thought, there's ways to get out of things if you need to. But take that risk.
I love it. Another one for the camp. Just do it. I love it. And finally, to round up, Sandy, can you tell us something about yourself that we may not know?
I won a jump rope contest when I was about 11 years old. Um,
Were you the
uh,
first to win it?
no, I
Oh my
doubt
God,
it.
you're disappointing me.
I know I was a really good jump roper way back when, which is hard to imagine. I don't even know that that's a thing anymore.
No, I think
Um,
it's all Xbox now, isn't it?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty much an open book. Yeah, I can't think of anything all that shocking or interesting.
I
Maybe
think
I'm
to
not
be
very
a worldwide RA superstar is probably enough, isn't it?
interesting.
Sandy, you have been absolutely amazing. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us on Female Friday.
Yeah, thank
And
you for
we
asking me.
will be cheering you from the front row in Newcastle.
Excellent. Excellent.
So good luck with your preparations for your lecture.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, I'm going to be talking about mentorship
Okay,
because when every time I hear about Bruce Scott, what I take away from it is his impact on others. And so I think I'm going to use that as my
I
so
love it.
you get the first sneak peek as to what the talk will be about. So,
That's it. It's hot off the press. You heard it
yes.
here on Female Friday
Yes.
first. Well, thank
Excellent.
you very much, Sandy, and enjoy
Uh,
the rest of your day.
Thanks, Becky.